All right, let's jump right in. We're talking about one of the biggest, if not the biggest tech shifts happening right now, generative AI. And this isn't just another buzzword. It's a technology that's doing something fundamentally new. It's moving past just crunching numbers, and it's actually starting to change how we create, how we work, really how we interact with the entire digital world. So, let's start with a really simple but kind of mind-blowing question. What if AI could create, not just analyze? I mean, for decades, right, we've thought of AI as this amazing tool for spotting patterns, for making predictions. But this one question, this changes everything. It's the huge turning point, and it's really the core idea we're going to unpack together today. So, to get our heads around that, we've got to look at this incredible leap AI has taken. I'm talking about the moment it went from being just an analyst to becoming a full-blown creator.
And look, the difference here is it's fundamental. Traditional AI, it's awesome at recognizing and analyzing stuff. Think about your Spotify playlist or Google Translate. That's traditional AI. But generative AI, well, it does something totally different. It doesn't just interpret what's already there. It creates brand new stuff. We're talking new text, new images, ideas that literally did not exist a second ago.
So, what's the engine making all this happen? Well, it all comes down to something called large language models, or LLMs for short. These are the real backbone of generative AI. Just picture them being trained on, well, a mind-boggling, absolutely massive amount of data from the internet. And all that training lets them understand context, nuance, even style. And then they can turn around and generate content that feels incredibly human. Okay, so that's the theory. But what can this thing actually do? Like in the real world? What's in this new generative AI toolkit? Let's take a look.
First off, this thing is unbelievably versatile. We're not just talking about text. No way. Generative AI is what we call multimodal. That means it can write you an article, sure, but it can also cook up stunning digital art from just a few words. It can compose music. It can even create videos for ads or whatever you want. It's basically a creator for almost any kind of media you can think of.
But wait, it goes even deeper than just making cool stuff. For one, it can have conversations that feel shockingly human. This is what's behind all those next-gen chatbots you're starting to see. And number two, and this is a really big deal, it can create fake or synthetic data to train other AIs. Now, why does that matter? Well, it helps solve huge problems like not having enough data or privacy concerns. It's literally making the whole AI world smarter.
So, as you can imagine, a toolkit this powerful isn't just a cool tech toy. Oh no. It is already kicking off a massive, and I mean massive, economic transformation.
Get this, $7 trillion. That is the potential impact generative AI could have on the global economy. That's a projection from Goldman Sachs. A number that big isn't just about small changes. That signals a full-blown revolution. Okay, so how on earth do you get to a number like 7 trillion? Well, the simple answer is a huge boost to productivity. The research suggests GenAI could bump up annual productivity growth by 1.5%. Now I know, 1.5% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you apply that across the entire global economy for a decade, it is an absolutely enormous engine for growth.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. It says, generative AI doesn't just automate tasks, it elevates human innovation. And that's the key, right? It's not about replacing people, it's about elevating what we can do. It handles the tedious stuff, freeing us up to focus on the big ideas, the strategy, the real innovation. It's more like a partner than a replacement.
All right, we've talked tech, we've talked big, crazy numbers, but what does this mean for you? How is this stuff actually showing up in our daily lives? Let's get into some real-world examples.
You've probably already seen this in marketing. You know those super personalized ads or social media posts that feel like they were written just for you? Yep, that's generative AI.
But it's so much more than just ads. Think about healthcare. We're talking about personalized treatment plans, or creating incredibly realistic simulations so that surgeons can practice before an operation. It's a total game changer.
And then there's entertainment and gaming. It's being used to build these dynamic, living worlds where the characters and the story actually change and adapt based on what you do. How cool is that?
It's changing how we shop too. You see those virtual try-on tools? That's GenAI. It's even being used to design completely new clothes based on the latest styles.
And this one might be the most important of all, education. Imagine learning materials that adapt to your personal pace and style. It's like giving every single student their own personal tutor. So here's the big takeaway from all this. Generative AI is really a two-part revolution. On one hand, it's a horizontal platform, meaning its tools can be used a little bit everywhere, in pretty much every industry. But it's also a vertical engine, meaning in certain industries, like healthcare or gaming, it's not just helping a little, it's completely reshaping everything from the ground up.
And that brings us to the final, and maybe the most important question of all. Look, there's no doubt this technology is changing our world and it's happening fast. The tech is already here, so the real question isn't if it's going to change things anymore. The question is, how are we going to shape it?